So basically, when the computer is doing a task, what it is doing, like what it is creating. So like programming is important to create software and applications like that help computer and program users in daily life. Like in our daily life, we are using different softwares and different applications. So basically how they are designed through programming. So basically that is why the programming is important. It develops analytical and problem solving abilities and the creative activity and help us to express abstract ideas. Abstract ideas mean that if we are thinking about something and we can convert it into a program or a code. Okay, like how you can like you can see a calculator. It is performing different tasks. Like he can like using calculators, we can do addition, subtraction, multiplications, the basic tasks we can perform on that. Okay, so so how a software of a calculator is designed? It is designed by doing programming. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
so the next one is what skills are needed while being a programmer or being doing programming. What skills are needed? Any idea?
The coding language, you must be thorough with the coding language.
Hmm. Like if you are using a programming language or a coding language, you should be cleared about the syntax of that coding language. Okay, so basically, what are the skills that we need when we are doing programming? Like programming is a healthy activity. People live depend upon programming. The few example of programming in our lives is a calculator, like I told you about the calculator. The next one is microwave oven, ATM machines, and computer systems, etc. There are many applications and software in our daily life we are using for like an we are using that applications in our daily life. Like we have created that softwares for the for easy, so for the humans, so the things can be easy for them. Okay, there are some rules for the skills you can say. Like when you are programming, when you are doing the programming, the skills are required for programming are as below: pay attention to details, think about the reusability, think about user interface, understand the fact computers are stupid, and comment the code liberally. So what does it means like pay attention to details? Anyone can anyone tell? Any idea about the
As
pay?
Nisma,
Hmm?
as Nisma said that you need to be thorough with the programming language. So even a slight error while entering the code or something can change the entire program,
Hmm?
and
Just
that's
like
why
a
we need
math
to.
equation.
Yes. So basically in programming details matters a lot. Like system does not understand what do you want to do until you tell him. So like she told that the maths equations, so you should pay attention to the calculation if they are involved in a program. If you are creating a calculator, basic calculator, so you are using different executions of the maths formulas, so you should pay attention to the calculations specifically, like correctness of calculations and the flow of calculations. Like the program must be logical. Like a person sleeps 30 hours a day, stars appeared on sky in 1 year. Okay, So the logic of that program must be clear to you, and it must be logical. The program must be logical. Okay, like the logics
Yes,
are
sir.
if you are doing multiplications, these are the basic logics of a computer, of a program, like what you are going to perform, like you are going to do multiplication, either addition or subtraction. Okay,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
basically the programming language is dependent upon your logic, like how you create a logic for uh, for performing a task. Okay, if you are writing a code, your logics must be clear about that thing or that programs. Okay,
Excuse
like
me, sir.
yes.
In the previous slide, I have a slight bit of doubt. With the line, it says that, well, the very last point, it says that the program must be logical.
Hmm.
For example, zeros and ones. So I understood that part. But what do you mean by a person sleeps 30 hours a day? Do you mean, is that not logical or?
It does not mean here the zeros and one. There are different things.
Okay,
Like basically, when we are doing
okay,
programming, the program logic is the implementations of the program requirement and design. Okay.
okay, okay,
So if the design of the application is bad, the programming logic can, it cannot be implemented professionally. Okay.
okay. Yes, I got it. So that means 1 out of 0. Okay, I understood it. Okay, makes sense. Yes.
Basically, here the logic means that how you create an code, how you write an code. We will see the examples next in the slides of the algorithms, like we create algorithms before implementing the codes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So the next one is the think about the reusability. Like in this, you can see there are the program must be designed in such a way it may be used later. For example, you are asked to write a program which can calculate the area of circle. Wait a second. So basically, what is the formula of in calculating an area of a circle, like pi into r square? Okay, so we can use this formula in these three diagrams. Like we can find the area of black circle, area of red circle, and area of ring. Is it clear? Like your program should be reusable. Like if you are writing a code, it must be reusable. Like you don't have to implement the formulas or the task again and again. Is this thing clear?
Yes. Yes, it is.
So the next one is good user interface. The interface provided to user must be easy to handle, so it may not trouble the users or confuse him. Like you can see the interface of an ATM machine. If you are familiar with the ATMs, are you all familiar with the ATMs?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically what is that ATM? Basically they are the programmed softwares or applications we are using. So that application have an interface, like uh, you can enter a, your pin code and then execute different tasks or perform different tasks using that machine. So basically good interface means like which is understandable by a normal person who is not familiar with the programming. Basically, when you are when you are using the ATM machine, like you click on that, if you want to take out the cash, you just click and enter the amount, and that amount is uh, like you can say that amount is delivered to you. So basically what is that, just you are clicking on that button and you are entering the amount. So basically but when you are clicking on that button, it performs some task in the back end. So what are these tasks? These are the programs written in the back end of that button. Like if you click that button, what it will do. So this thing is cleared by the programs you have written. Okay. So good
Yes, sir.
interface means that if the interface is good, so it can be easy for the humans or the normal person who are not familiar with the computers or the programming language programming, so they can easily perform the tasks. Okay, so never assume your user knows a lot of things, neither your computer. Make an explainable set of information. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So basically, when we are using any application or software, it has an interface, and the interface is the main thing. So uh, everyone can access to that application or that software. At the back end of that software or application, there are different programs used to run that application. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the next one is comment the code liberally. What does it mean? Any idea? Any idea?
Easy coding, not too tough. That could be understandable to others as well.
No, basically it means that when you are writing a code, so it is a good practice. You can add comments in that. Basically, when we are using a compiler or like we are using Visual Studio, which are used for writing a code, so we can write a comment over there also. Okay. So what does that comment means? Like make the code liberal so that all the other programmers can access that and understand it. Basically, what are you doing when you are doing a when you are writing a program? You are writing the syntax of a programming language that must not be clear to every programmer. Okay, so you can add comments so that if anyone access that code, it must be clear to that person that what this code means or what the tasks these code are performing.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I just want to present an example. I'm not sure if I fully understood this. For example, if I do make a software myself, let's just say I make a software of an online school, and I make a website or something for them, and
Yes.
it's a software for the students to be able to do their homework.
Mm.
Now, I'll be, of course, in order for me to do that, I have to do coding, right?
Yes.
So that coding needs to be understandable by any other employee that may or may not come after me. Is
Yes.
this what it is?
Yes. It means that if you are writing a program for that online school management
Yes.
thing, so basically when you are
Yes.
writing a program, there are different functions in it, like different
Okay.
classes that are performing different tasks in it. So you can
Yes.
write a comment after that class or after that chunk uh, of that code, that what does this chunk do. So it can be understandable in future for you, or if you are giving that code to someone, to a different
Okay.
programmer. So if you are doing a task or you are doing some project in a group, so you have done your part. Okay, so
Yes.
after that, if another person is performing different tasks in that same code, so it must be clear to him that what does the upper part of that code or that the code you have written do. So basically, how does he can know about that thing? By the comments. you
Okay.
have written with the each function.
Okay.
Okay, so it
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
so basically what does this thing help? Like if you have created an function in the program which can be reused later on in the program. Okay, so uh, after that comment, if a person is performing a task again in that code, so he can reuse that function. Okay,
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Yes, sir.
so instruct a system to make a cup of coffee. Basically this is an we write an algorithms to perform different tasks or before writing a code. Any idea about the algorithms? Any idea about the algorithms? What does?
The steps, the steps that we take
Hmm?
or we input in order to like get a solution or an output.
Hmm?
And it's been done in a form of a flow diagram.
Yes. Like if you are performing a task, it must be in a flow. Like first we have to do this, and at last, like you can say, if you are you instruct a system to make a cup of coffee, so there are some flows of that task. Okay. So basically, what is an algorithm? Once you fully understand, if once you are fully understand, once you fully understand the problem, and you have clarified any questions you have, or you need to develop your solution. See? Okay, so when you are fully and when you are fully understandable about the code, like what you are going to do or you are going to perform, and you are clarified about the different questions in that code, so you need to develop your solution. For that solution, algorithms are used. Like algorithm is a set of instructions for the computer. Okay, like setting up the algorithm is probably the hardest part of a you can say of problem solving on the computer. But what is the benefit? Why algorithms are beneficial? Because you have written that task in simple language and you can perform those tasks one by one, like in steps. These instructions cannot assume anything, like cannot skip steps, you cannot skip steps, and every step must be executable and must be complete. If you have not performed any task or you have skipped any step, so you cannot move on. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Like you here you can see the example, instruct a system to make a cup of coffee. So there are several steps that are needed to make a cup of coffee. Like you take a pan, put water in the pan, turn the flame on, add sugar, add coffee, and then at the last you turn off the flame. So these tasks must be performed in a flow or in different steps. Like you cannot take a pen and directly add a coffee. Okay, so what does it mean? Like you cannot skip steps, and you have to execute every step until the step is completed. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Like you can say the an example of like you the more like the to explain, we can write an algorithm to explain the morning activity of an employee or before going to an office. So what will be that? Like if we have to write a algorithm to explain the morning activity of an employee, like before going to the office, so what will be his activities or what will the algorithm, how can we design? Any idea?
First, he'll wake up at the morning, the first thing.
For sure, you have to wake up.
Yeah. And then the next step would be he would go for taking shower or something, brushing teeth,
Yes.
and then he can go for preparing his breakfast and then having it,
Mm,
and then he'll dress up
yes.
and he'll then leave his home.
Yes. Basically, what
Sir,
this include? Yes.
could I answer the question
Yes.
too?
Yes. Sure. Anyone can.
Um, that person is an employee of that company, and I need to check their morning routine. So what I'll do is I'll make a finger sensor for them to sign in every day by using a program, so that they can the company can know at what time the
Yes.
employee has logged in.
Yes. So, like, it is a different thing. Like, you can develop a software for their attendance system, but
Yes.
the algorithm was to explain the morning activity of an employee, like before going to an office. He performs different
Okay.
tasks and then he goes to the office. So basically, we write algorithms to explain the steps. Basically, we explain steps like how things are going, like from one step to
Okay.
another step. Like you cannot directly move on. Like after you take a pen and directly you add coffee and turn off the flame.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
these,
it's a set of series, right?
yes,
It's a series.
yes, set
Okay.
of instructions or set of series you can
Instructions.
say.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, I got it.
set of instructions for the computer. Like
Yes.
we wrote algorithms and we perform that. We wrote, then we write a program, or we do coding, or we perform different programs using different languages. So these set of
Okay.
instructions are the for computer to
Okay.
perform the task.
Okay. So can we say, for example, if a person wants to compile a machine, first he has to find the spare parts.
Uh,
Um,
Repeat your question.
so can we take an example of a person who wants to build a robot or a machine?
Yes.
So then we can say that the algorithm of that for that building of the machine can be, first the person is going to find the spare parts,
Yes.
and the next step can be
Mm.
whatever the step is for the engineering stuff.
Mm.
They can do the wiring, okay, and
Yes.
then next they can check whether it's working, and
Mm.
then he can do the testing,
Yes.
and then he can approve that it works.
Yes. Basically, these are the steps. Like it will
Yeah.
be in easy
Okay.
English. You can say you can write the steps, and then you can perform those tasks. Whether you are writing a code or you are doing the daily life tasks, you can write algorithms.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So the next one is like how to add two numbers. Like in when we are writing a code, or we are performing this task on a paper, like we have to take the first number. Like if we have numbers, then we can calculate the output. Okay, so first we will take the first number, and then we can take the second number. Like we will perform the operation. What will be the operation? The operation will be like adding the two numbers, and at last we can display the output. So basically, when the same example of an calculator, when you are creating or making a calculator and you are writing a program for that uh, calculator. So what does you do when you are using a calculator? You write a number, then you write a second number, and then you perform the operation. Like you have to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Is it clear? And the output is displayed on your screen after that.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Is
sir.
it clear?
Yes, sir.